back with another book, Pinkalicious Fairy House. Last time we read Pinkalicious Soccer Star. This is by Victoria Kann. Here we go. Pinkalicious Fairy House. It was spring, my favorite season. I love how the sky looks. How the sky looks like cotton candy at sunset. Every spring, our garden comes alive with blossoms of every color. I know why our garden is so beautiful, because of the fairies. Fairies come to our yard in the spring. Fairy dust sprinkles fairy dust to make the plants grow. I have never seen them, but I know they are real. I can see sparkles outside my window. Their house is even pink. This spring, I had a plan. I would see the fairies. Pinkalicious, what are you doing? Asked Peter, as I collected twigs and leaves. I'm making a house for the fairies to live in. Then they can live in our garden and we will be able to see them, I said. I want to see them too. Let me help, said Peter. He brought out his shell collection. Let's build a house here in the garden, I said. Fairies are sure to come this way. Piece by piece, we built a little house. I wove buttercups around the door. Buttercups are a type of plant. Peter made a pathway with seashells. Soon we had a cozy home for the fairies. I couldn't wait for them to come. Every day I watched the house from my swing. Looks like, look at, there's little pebbles, or I don't know what those are, and there's cool little rocks. I made a pond, a boat, and even a slide for the fairies to find, but the fairies didn't come. When Peter saw how sad I looked, he said, "Cheer up! The pink flower buds are blooming." But I wanted to see the fairies. The slide, the boat, and the pond. Cool. Neat. Suddenly, I had an idea. Maybe the fairies only come out at night, I said. Maybe they only sprinkle fairy dust by moonlight. I told Mommy and Daddy what I wanted to do. They let Peter and me camp out and keep watch for the fairies. That evening, Peter and I spreaded out our sleeping bags. I left the fairies a sweet snack of honeysuckle and berries. "Do you think they will come?" asked Peter. "Yes," I said, and added in a whisper, "I really hope so." We told each other stories until Peter fell asleep. As the night got darker, I heard crickets and owls, but not a single fairy. Once I thought I heard some soft, gentle humming. It was just Peter. He was snoring. I did everything I could to stay awake. I looked up at the moon. I counted the stars. I didn't want to miss the fairies. But as I counted the stars, my eyelids got heavy. I couldn't help it. I drifted off to sleep. So you guys, look at the pond. It's the stars. They're reflecting off the water. It's kind of cool. The next thing I knew, I heard birds singing. I opened my eyes. It was dawn. I heard hushed voices in the garden. Mommy and Daddy were looking at something together. How beautiful, they said. As I stretched, a sweet smell filled the air all around me. Colorful flowers were in full bloom. I looked at the fairy house. The honeysuckle and berries were gone. The fairies came, I cried. They came. But I missed the whole thing. Peter started to sniffle. Don't cry. Look, I said. Look up in the air. I could see glimmers of light shooting across the early morning sky. Fairies, I gasped. The light shimmer brighter and brighter, got brighter and brighter until it sparkled into sunshine. I knew you were real, I said. My family and I watched the sun come up. Thank you, fairies, I whispered. Wherever they were, and I knew they could hear me. Thank you for listening to Pinkalicious Fairy House. Join me next time for Pinkalicious and the Perfect Present. Subscribe to my channel and push the thumbs up button. Bye. See you next time for another fun story.